Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss about producer consumer problem and what are all the issues we are facing in this producer consumer problem, how we are solving using the technique called semaphore. So that also we will discuss. So here we know already what is producer consumer problem because I have given some discussion about this producer consumer problem. So we will have two process separately. So one which is nothing but producer and other process which is nothing but consumer. Producer process always produce some new items and that will be stored in the bounded buffer. So it is also said to be bounded buffer problem. So here we have the buffer and we have number of slots that were available. So whichever the empty slots we have, we can able to produce new items that can be stored here, and consumer process will get that item from the buffer. So this is what the concept of producer consumer problem. So here we have the producer process and here we have the consumer process. Now so here since it is a bounded buffer, once if it occupies all the data items that were produced by the producer process, then producer process has to wait. In the same way, consumer, once it received all the item from the buffer, then it has to wait till the items that were produced by the producer process. So waiting, which is nothing but a busy waiting. So whenever the process executes the busy waiting, so it is just wasting the CPU cycles. So we should not encourage this busy waiting concept. So we cannot use it in the producer or consumer problem, I mean for any process. So we have moved with one more technique called blocking. Suppose if any process wants to wait, that particular process must be blocked for some time, and after if it wants to resume its own set of operation, which means the other process is ready or it left the critical region, then it has to produce their items and it will enter into the critical region. So at that time it will be resumed. Okay, so here we are not going with the busy waiting concept, so we are actually moving with the blocking. So blocking system consists of two set of operation, one is nothing but sleep and another one is nothing but wake up. These two are said to be the inter-process communication primitives which we are using for any of the process to block itself. So if you want to block any process, we can use the sleep primitive, and if you want to resume that same process, which means it can continue its own set of operation, then we should wake up that particular process. So for that we are using that wake up operation, right? So in the same way here, the producer consumer problem also be implemented with these two kind of operations on the producer as well as the consumer. So when the producer process can execute that sleep operation, which means if the producer does not find any empty slot in the buffer, so it has to wait, but it is not actually waiting. We are blocking that process with the help of sleep operation. In the same way, consumer process is actually it cannot find any of the item in the buffer, then it has to wait. So we are not performing wait operation, we are just moving with the blocking operation with the help of the sleep. Suppose if the producer has got some new item and it is actually stored in this buffer, then consumer will get the wake up signal and it will perform its own set of operation. In the same way, once the consumer taken or removed any of the item from the buffer, then the buffer will consist of some empty slots, and at that time producer will also perform its wake up operation to continue its operation, to continue its task. Okay, so this is how we have the code which implements the concept of producer consumer problem. And so we will discuss this, and obviously it is written in C. So if you look at that, most of the operating system code has been generated only with the help of the C programming. So it is very powerful and it is more efficient to use, and also it will be more easy to understand the concept whatever we have given here. So here we have initialized n value. So n is nothing but bounded buffer, so it will hold the maximum size of the buffer, so let it be 100. Int count equal to 0. So here we have used one variable called count, which is used to find out the number of items in the buffer. So once you place any item in the buffer, the count value will be incremented. In the same way, once you remove any item from the buffer, the count value will be decremented. So this is what the purpose of count variable. And if you look at this void producer, so here we have separately the subroutine for the producer process and for the consumer process. So for the producer process, we have some local variable called item, and here we have the while condition item equal to produce item, whichever the item we are producing, so that is nothing but item. And here count equal to n, we are just checking the condition, which means when this buffer reaches the maximum value. Okay, so it has been filled with the maximum number of data items, whatever we have, whatever it is actually produced by the producer process. Then the producer process cannot continue its operation, so it has to perform the sleep operation. So that is what we are doing here. Insert item of item count. Suppose if the condition is not true, then it will insert that particular item, whatever it is produced into the buffer. Count value will be incremented because one item has been stored in the buffer newly, so count value has been incremented. If the count value is equal to 1, then wake up consumer. So what is the meaning of it? We have initialized count value to 0. If count value equal to 1, wake up consumer, which means the consumer process has to wake up. So what does it mean? Count value is equal to 1 means we have stored one of the data item into the buffer. So the buffer has one data item, so the consumer has to remove that item from the buffer. It has to perform its own set of operations. So we are just implementing this wake up consumer. So the consumer will be resumed. If it is already in sleep mode, then it will be resumed and it will perform its operation, right? So in the same way, we have some set of code for consumer process. So here also we have local variable called item while of true if count equal to 0. So what is the meaning of it? Count equal to 0 means no item is present in the buffer, so we have to make the consumer to sleep. And then item equal to remove item. Suppose if this condition is not true, then we have to remove any one of the item from the buffer, not any one. So it performs, which is very similar to stack operation. So whichever the item that is stored at the top, then that will be removed. If count equal to n minus 1, n minus 1 means one of the item has been removed by the consumer, so one empty slot is available in the buffer now, so we have to resume the producer process with the help of this wake up operation. So that is what we are doing here. If count equal to n minus 1, wake up producer, because we are just intimating producer process to do its own set of operation, consume item of item. Okay, so this is what the code we have separately for producer and consumer. And obviously we will not get any of the issue, but in some cases we may get the race condition. So what is the race condition? So all these instructions or whatever we have separately for producer and consumer, if suppose if these set of instruction does not execute atomically. So what is the meaning of atomic execution? Indivisibly. So we need to execute all these instructions step by step. So here we are checking this condition, and afterwards if the condition is true, then we should perform the sleep operation on any of the process whatever we are doing, and insert item. If the condition is false, then we are moving to the next one. Suppose after checking the condition before going to the sleep operation, your scheduler stops executing the producer process and executing the consumer process. What happens there? We are getting the race condition, right? So if it changes, if there are any changes in the order of execution what it is performing, and it will not produce the final outcome very well, we will not get the output at all, right? So that is what race condition. So let us see how we are getting race condition in this problem. So initially, suppose consumer is executing its operation. So what it will do, it will remove the item from the from the buffer. Suppose if the buffer, if the count value reached to n. So what does it mean? Buffer is full now. Currently we don't have any I mean, for consumer, we have to check if the count value is 0. Okay, so uh, uh, before storing any of the data item into the buffer, we don't have any of the data item, so the count value will be 0 only. So at that time, consumer starts its execution. Consumer process starts its execution, and it is checking the if condition whether count value is 0. Yes, obviously it is 0, so it will go to sleep operation, right? It will go to sleep mode because no data item is available in the buffer, so it cannot perform any of its tasks. Okay, so it goes to sleep mode, and afterwards this producer is performing its own set of operation. So what it will do, it will create the new data item, and it will check the condition before inserting that item into the buffer. It is checking whether empty space is available. So how it will check? If count value is n, if count value is n, then it will go to sleep mode, but here the count value is not n, so it is just entering data item into the buffer. Okay, and afterwards it will changes, it has to change the count value to 1. But before doing this change operation, which means before incrementing this count variable, scheduler, what it is doing, it stops executing the producer and it is again executing the consumer process. Can you understand? So here, before incrementing the value of count, the scheduler has changed this particular process to the next process, so that is consumer. So now consumer, again it will check what is the value of count. It is again not yet changed because producer has not changed it, it is still 0. So what it will do, it cannot able to wake up, so it is still in sleep mode. And again the producer will get back the control and it will execute. So while it is executing, so what it will do, it is actually performing all the set of operation, but none of the data item has been received by the consumer. So what it will do, it sends some wake up signal to the consumer. So it can understand that already the consumer process is in sleep mode, so it has to send some wake up signal to consumer. But the consumer in some cases logically will not be happened at all. So logically it cannot, it is not been updated that the consumer process is in sleep mode. So what happens if it is not logically not in sleep mode, whatever the wake up signal it is sent by the producer process will be lost. It will be lost. The wake up signal will not be received by the consumer process because logically it is not in sleep mode. So it will also happen in some cases. So what happens here, the producer very sooner or some after later, I mean after some time, the producer will keep on producing all the new data items and it will be storing into the buffer. So once it reaches the n value, which means the count value is n, and afterwards this producer will also be to sleep mode, will also execute that sleep operation because there is no any empty space available in the buffer, so it cannot produce the new data item to store into the buffer, so it will be in sleep mode. So at a time both the producer and consumer process will be sleep forever. So this is actually a major problem. So both will not producing any performing its task. So here the mutual exclusion is not satisfied. So it is actually the major problem. So in order to avoid this problem, we are actually going with the concept of semaphore, because here we are getting the race condition as the number of instruction given separately to each process is not been executed indivisibly, which means there is no atomic execution for each process, producer and consumer. Okay, so in order to perform the atomic execution of all the instructions whatever we have under some process, we are using the technique called semaphore. Okay, so that we will see in the next video. Thank you.